to talk you through the history of our company, 25 years of financial.com. I've prepared the following agenda. After some opening remarks, I want to reflect on the journey of our company and then highlight our partnerships and the importance of the corporate values that we have. And then I want to give you an outlook for the future. Well, when we started, the internet was just 5 years old. There were a lot of fancy tools available. My son, he's 13 years old. He calls me a caveman from Stone Age because of this krasse Monitore, these awesome tube screens. And so young kids don't know that there were floppy disks to exchange files. So it's a crazy world. And all of this has merged into one device into your smartphone. And now everyone is addicted to a smartphone, and there's even a new medical term. It's nomophobia, meaning it's the abbreviation for no more mobile phobia. People are afraid of not being able to survive without a smartphone. And the Wi-Fi code, and that used to be a nerdy tool, is now the most important tool to educate your kids. The next slide. In the early days, there were many dinosaurs, and there are many names that you might know, but they have disappeared. AOL, they bought Time Warner, and after their crash, they removed the name AOL from the company name. Then there was Yahoo. Yahoo had the opportunity to buy Google for just $1 billion in 1999. And Lycos, they were the predominant search engine. They closed their operations in 2008. Nokia was the most valued company in Europe, and it's faded away. Palm was this PDA, personal digital assistant. MySpace, the first social media, almost no one's there anymore. Netscape used to be the operating system of the internet, and Blockbuster got destroyed by Netflix. And we were this little tiny gecko among the dinosaurs, and we fought our way. And while they died, we grew up and became an alligator. And I want to show you why. Well, it all started with this. In 1997, Robert Merton and Myron Scholes were awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics for their contribution in pricing options. And I mean, the paper, the Black-Scholes formula, was written by another person, Fisher Black. He died in 95. I'm sure he would have been awarded the prize as well. And they published the paper in 1973. And it was institutional trading only in the 70s and 80s, and in the mid-90s, derivatives were available for retail clients. And our business idea was pretty simple. We just took the Nobel Prize and put it into software. And the market was, it was only print magazines available, Optionsscheinmagazin. This was printed once a month, and the numbers, the financial figures, the Greeks, they were outdated when it was printed. And we had the idea of calculating the financial figures on demand, live online calculation at optionsscheine.de. And our first customer was Goldman Sachs. So we had a niche market, and they had a nice, a smart and young partner who put trust in us. He liked our young company. His name was Jörg Kukis. And you might know him because last week he was appointed German finance minister. Then we had UniCredit and Société Générale. This was a niche market. It was limited. We had 3 sponsors. And then we decided to approach B2B clients. So we wanted to have a white labeling approach and put our software on the websites of brokers. And the first broker we approached was DAP Bank, a Munich-based broker. And I played the Munich card. I said, Munich companies, they support each other. Please put it on your website. And they didn't pick us, actually. And so they declined. And just a couple of weeks later, we were available on citigroup.com, the global website, in 11 languages, including Japanese kanji signs, thanks to Stefan. He did that, So this was like disgrace to knighthood in 8 weeks. And this was really nice. And but as I said, the market was a niche. And we wanted to grow the business in other asset classes. And I want to highlight this I thought that Bernd Rudolph would be among us. Unfortunately, he's not here today, but he has been here over the last 25 years or even longer. And if you search Google for the best finance book ever written, the #1 hit is The Intelligent Investor. And this comes from the quote that Warren Buffett has placed on the front chair. He says it's by far the best book ever written. And of course, Warren Buffett, his page rank is pretty nice on Google, so this is the #1 hit. But if I would take the question, I would answer differently. I would say the best book ever written was Derivative Finanzinstrumente. You know it, Hans-Peter. Yeah, this book was written by Klaus Schäfer and Bernd Rudolph. By far the best book, I must say. And this was the storyline for our company. We just took it and we coded the formula, and there we go. So we work on the page rank. I mean, Buffett is a unicorn. The #1 is away, but we get this up. Yeah, well, then we wanted to grow the company both internationally and across asset classes, and we went to New York in March 2000. Thanks to Mark. Yeah, this is actually your photo. Thank you. Yeah, and maybe you can see some of these persons. There's Florian. Yeah, only Florian available. Yeah, all the others not here anymore. Yeah, we thought that we build an international financial portal. We bought the domain name financial.com. We bought it for $60,000. We bought it from the same domain broker who sold business.com for $75,000. And just a year later, business.com sold for $7.5 million. So crazy numbers. And to be honest, our trade fair was a complete disaster. So no one stopped by, no one talked to us. The only reason why people came to our booth was, hey, how did you crazy Germans manage to get this name, financial.com? Yeah, it's like in the internet, it's like real estate, and this is like New York Square. And so this was the only reason. But actually, we had German data only. It's a group of students, so it wasn't really professional. And so, yeah, luckily there was an after-show party at the Waldorf Astoria. Florian and myself, where's Florian? Yeah, he took us there, and Florian. They liked Florian. He met a guy and he invited us the next day. He said, okay, I'm sorry for you that you haven't met anyone, but come see us in our office the next day. So the two of us, we went to Central Park, office building, by far the smallest company in this building. It was just one floor, 4 to 5 years old company, couple of dozen people. And now everyone knows it. And as Ryan just said, this was BlackRock. Yeah. So this was the only company that invited us. And back then, this was a startup. Yeah. So this is what 25 years can do with a company. And so we then closed the operations in Boston. Well, I forgot to mention, we opened an office in Boston, but this was a failure, and then we closed it immediately. 2 of the 4 founders left the company. We focused on a B2B4C business in a partnership with Reuters, now Thomson Reuters, Refinitiv, London Stock Exchange Group. And then, we sold our domain, optionsscheine.de, in exchange for a stake in Swiss company Derivative Partners. Forget about this transaction. The best transaction was we met friends. Erik, where's Erik? Yeah, here he's with us. Yeah, this was the best investment that we had in derivatives. And so there's 2 Eriks actually. It's Erik Wasescher and Erik Blachmann. And so they came through this deal. And the founders left the company. Steffen, Jan, Florian, and Werner, they joined the shareholders. And Steffen and Jan were appointed to the board in 2001. Yeah, and now we are a really international company. We have 146 employees from 17 nations across 6 locations in 4 countries. And of course, you see in Munich, 73. Yeah. And Aschaffenburg, actually Aschaffenburg was, the reason for Aschaffenburg was Mark. Where's Mark? He's the big bang of financial.com. Yeah? So it all started with Mark. He's employee #1. Yeah? And he was so resistant. Yeah? He didn't want to move to Frankfurt, because it's only 30 minutes away by train. He insisted on staying in Aschaffenburg, maybe because it's still Bavaria. I don't know. But then we decided to build the support team in Aschaffenburg around Mark. And in Frankfurt, there's Steffen, Dewey, Ralf, And Toronto started in 2014 because we have some big names, TD, Scotia. We have this North American cooperation with ASEC, and so it's very important for us. And Kochi was officially started in 2015, but there's a longer story behind it. India was always the big topic in our company, and it started back in 2000. We were eagerly seeking developers. There was this neuer Markt, so everything was booming, and there were no software developers. And then we met an Indian student of German literature or German studies, and he advised us to publish an advertisement in an Indian newspaper. And then we got 350 applicants, so numbers are bigger in India. And then of these 350, we had 6 people, 6 bachelors coming to Munich on a tourist visa. They stayed for 3 months, and after 3 months they went home over Christmas, and 3 of them came back with a green card. Chancellor Schröder, he initiated the green card in 2000, and by the way, we had the first green card holder. Who was Matthew Varghese, and that was fun. And because of this, the Finnish television approached us for a documentary. They said, "Hey, we want to ask you questions. Is this good? Is this a role model?" And I said, "Of course, come visit us." And our office that day was in the red light district in the Eurostri Park, so it wasn't the best place to showcase anything. But in B2B, this was okay, because in B2B you usually travel to the customer. And in B2B, we would have lost the competition. But then they came to our office, and our colleagues have just found an apartment. It was not furnished, fully unfurnished. They had a document where they went to McDonald's, Walmart, carrying their bags, and they say, "Hey, this is really a bad documentary." But lucky us, there was no YouTube, so there's no storage of this video. This is gone. And this was a very nice story. And we then went back, we then opened an office in Kochi, Kerala, because we just followed our last developer, and we did no research. And there's also a nice story. There's another company based in Munich and focusing on information and investor relations, EQS. They are 500, 600 people, something like this. And I met their CEO in New York. I said, "Achim, we just opened an office in India," and said, "Hey, we have an office in India as well. And where is your office?" And he said, "We are in Kochi." I said, "Hey, you're kidding. We're also in Kochi. I mean, there's Chennai, Bangalore, Trivandrum. You can go anywhere. But the 2 companies met in Kochi." And I said, "What a coincidence." And then I flew back to Munich, and 2 weeks later, I sent him an email and asked him, "Where's your office, by the way? I'm going to see my colleagues next week." And they say, "We are in the city center, Mahatma Gandhi Road, Alapat building, floors 5 and 6. Hey, I think you're kidding, on floor 7. So we met in the same building. And there's another nice story with this company, because they own financial.de. And there was this running gag when I met their manager at a trade fair. He approached me, "Eisenhofer, you got my domain name." And I said, "Yeah, that's true, but you have my mother on your website." Because my mother learned the internet at the age of 63, so she didn't know the difference between .com and .de, and she always showcased his website to her friends, and saying this was mine. So this was a nice story. Now let me highlight our strong partnerships, and these are the foundations of our company. And the most important one is our partnership with Reuters, Thomson Reuters, Refinitiv, now London Stock Exchange Group, and it started in 2001. And we count the numbers of the projects. We call it SOW, Statement of Work. So we have this master agreement, and then we attach a new statement of work for a new project. And the latest number was 248, so over 24 years. And we have productized solutions for wealth managers, for active traders, and for widgets, websites. And whenever a standard product does not fit, they ask us, "Do you want to build a customized solution?" So we are a delivery partner and serving their clients. And this brings me to this slide. So basically, we are connecting big businesses. So we build solutions, and these solutions, that's a lot of effort. But once it's built, it's there, and hopefully stays forever. And we have, through the partnership with LSEG, we have access to almost all names on Wall Street. We even have BaFin, all the big names, thanks to LSEG. They wouldn't sign a small company, but there's a lot of trust in LSEG, and so we are happy for this partnership. The next thing is, I'm very proud of this one. It's funny to say, but it's true. Munich has the largest convention for market data. Where's Susanne? Susanne Fröhlich? Oh, she left. Oh, yeah, it was Susanne and Kees Breumans of Screen and myself. I mean, in 2008, after the financial crisis, the European banking and insurance fair in Frankfurt, they struggled, they closed their operations, and I said, well, this is our chance, we can bring this to Munich. And I asked Susanne, the biggest market data consumer, I said, Susanne, would you back me? I'll ask the vendors. I mean, if you call Bloomberg, they will come, Reuters, everyone will be there. And Screen consultants, they were somehow cost efficiency consultants, so everyone wanted to be good with Screen. So they took care for the vendors. And then we built this in Munich. And I must say, it's by the numbers, it's the largest convent, and it's 1,000 attendees, 50 plus vendors, and the North American Financial Information Summit has 500 attendees, and the Asian Pacific in Hong Kong has 450. And the World Financial Information Conference 600. So it's all thanks to Gosha, Sibylla. You have grown this. It's amazing, and now we have satellite events, and the core event takes place in May, and we just came back from Amsterdam last week. There was an event in Stockholm, Smart Vienna, so it's growing, and it's all thanks to them. Yeah, great. And yeah. Just one thing I want to say. Sibylla's father was managing director of Reuters in the 1980s, and I think he would be the number one guest on your event. And this brings me to the next slide. I mentioned the importance of Robert Merton, and I'm really delighted that he accepted our invitation, and he will come to Munich and Frankfurt in January, and we'll help him find institutional investors, because he's a consultant, or he's a board member actually of Dimensional Fund Advisors. This company is a spin-off of the University of Chicago. Ken French, Eugene Farmer, Myron Scholes, and Bob Merton, they are close friends of David Booth. He was the founder of this company. And they opened an office in Germany. They chose Munich as their location. And I'm happy to welcome Robert Merton. I would be super nervous. I mean, Robert Merton not only wrote the formula for our company, he wrote this contribution in '69, the theorem for the irrelevance of the investment horizon. This was the foundation for my PhD, and he's from MIT Sloan School, the alma mater of my father. So I will be very nervous. And just one fun fact. Arnold Schwarzenegger is considered a billionaire by Forbes because he owns a stake in Dimensional Fund Advisors. So this is worth much more than all of his action movies combined. So he's got 5% in DFA. And then we have a partnership with VM Daten, the numbering agency. It started with you, Axel. Yeah. Thorsten, unfortunately, he couldn't come tonight. And it started with Steffen. He's smoking, maybe. Very good. I saw him there. It just... Where was? Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Steffen, he started this one, VM Daten. So this is the German numbering agency, and we are a proud partner. And we have built a data hub for this regulatory documents, PIPs and PRIPs, the retail investment insurance product, something like this, compliance, And there would be securities trading without VM, so it's a very important partner. Our latest addition is Baader Bank. I'm extremely proud of this one. Yeah, where's Michael? Welcome from Baader, and unfortunately Uto Baader, he couldn't make it tonight, but he's always been in our company. I met him in 1997 at the Capital Markets Institute of Professor Rudolph, and for me he's like He's the face of the financial center of Munich. He's a superstar. Yeah, and he has built Bader Bank, and Bader Bank is IT first company. So they were a small bank, but they were the most important customer of Reuters. So from the beginning, they had the best feed, best data, best technology, and they have a backend, white label backend, and we have a white label front end. So it's a perfect fit. Yeah? And this combination is extremely interesting. And so we can offer end-to-end securities trading in a white label approach, and it's fully digital. So you have a video ident, we have all this onboarding stuff, import, export of depot transfer. It's super. Yeah? And as I said, it's high performance banking. And yeah, this brings me to the next slide. What makes us different? I mean, we are not a listed company, although we publish data from listed companies. I would not like to be listed ourselves. So we are a family business, and this has huge advantages, as I see. Yeah? I see it. So we are values driven. We are always there for the long term. And my favorite time in a relationship is forever. Yeah, and when we started, I heard it many times that a big company is so safe, it's there forever, and I just got the numbers. When I entered the door at Maximiliansplatz, at my first visit at Reuters, they had 600 employees in 8 offices. And today we are as big as LSEG in Germany, and Reuters became Thomson Reuters, Refinitiv, now London Stock Exchange Group. Jan, Steffen, Flo, Stefan, and I have met 24. I counted the number, 24 managing directors of Reuters LSEG Germany. Usually I have 2 at the same time, so it's many generations. Yeah? And yeah, we are very flexible and decisive. We think holistically, yeah? And can decide quickly, and we don't have an heavy process, especially not if the decision is reversible. So we can take actions quite soon, quite fast. And loyalty and personal relationships is very important. For me, the best case is Steffen. Yeah, you are the role model for loyalty. Yes. The friendship with Matthias Walzner, I have not seen him tonight. Matthias, they started their friendship 30 years ago. So he brought Matthias and the Sparkassen Group to our company, and so they will retire together. So this is what I see. But in 25 years, yeah. And what's really, I mean, if you start a company, there's a social building, and what really makes me proud, if there's friendships, if there's even families, and where Susanne and Thomas, this is our couple, and we have 3 children, that met or that came to existence through financial.com, and this makes me extremely proud. Identification and commitment. We have we are missionary, not mercenary. So in German we say Bock haben. So we like what we do, and we want to build something cool. And I mean, this morning I spoke to our colleagues in India, and they are so committed, and they decorated the office so beautifully, and it's so touching. And I can only say, wow, I would not expect this in a big company where people just spend their time. Yeah. Then a sense of responsibility. Once I heard that someone said, Alexis, you're so lucky. You can fire dozens of people before you lose your own job. And I said, wow, I have never ever thought this way. Yeah, and this is totally the opposite of how I see my role. So it's our role to protect our customers, to protect our team, and so we feel a lot of sense of responsibility, and so we are committed. And I attribute this to our company structure. We're here for the long run. Then there's this famous quote of Peter Drucker. He's a researcher, and he once said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." Yeah. Without a good strategy, without a good culture, every strategy is doomed to failure. And there's also a nice quote, "Pressure never exceeds pleasure." So I think that especially in software development, where you have some creative work, you cannot push people. You have to motivate them and have some intrinsic motivation. And you can do this with exciting and challenging work, and offer them learning opportunities. And we have a perfect mixture between experienced developers, young developers, bringing new technologies. So that's a perfect team, yeah. And we value every individual contribution. And we have strong characters, yeah. But we rather tame a lion than teach a cat how to roar. Yeah? So this is very nice. This brings some discussions, but in the end, that was a good end and good solution. Yeah, and we have great teamwork. I would say we do not have a single Ronaldo, but we will win against 11 Ronaldos. Yeah? So I'm very confident that we are a winning team. Yeah? We have people in our team. I mean, here is that Stefan, the longest standing. I don't want to say too many names, but I'm self-confident that we have an excellent team, and I don't fear anyone. So with this team. And what is very important, if you want to achieve great goals with young people, you need to celebrate success. Yeah, and this brings me to the next slide. And so this is work hard, play hard, and you can see engaging team building activities. So we have been, oh God, where do I start? It's climbing, it's curling, wakeboarding, Floßfahren. So it's many opportunities, and this makes friendships. This is team building, and this brings us to where we are. Yeah, and but you cannot always have good times. There were also some sad moments, and this brings me to this slide. Those of you, and there are many who are with us for more than 20 years, you know them all. Yeah, Yasmin, our customer support team member, she died in 2011. My brother Arvid, he died 12 years ago. He worked as account manager. This picture shows him in Madrid. Jan, you might remember this picture. This is you next to him, so you share many moments. And then it's Anna. She died in 2014. This shows her next to her daughter, Rosalie. Rolf Richter, he was our founding supervisory board. All this started in his kitchen in Cologne. So he was a lawyer by training, and he advised us how to structure agreements. And so Rolf was a very, very nice person. And Petra Berger, she was office manager in Frankfurt, assistant to Stefan, Uwe's wife. She died in 2016. And then there's Manoj. Manoj died last week in a bike accident in India. So, but we will never forget them, and wonderful people here. This brings me to the vision. Yeah. You can see that obviously facing some challenges, and if you read the news, you could get the impression that Germany falls apart. Yeah? But there are demographic shifts. We have this energy transition. We have supply chain disruptions, skill shortages, or regulatory burdens. I may say regulatory, we do deliver ESG data, so for us it's not that severe, but for the economy it's bad. But we won't complain. We have to find solutions to problems. The claim to fame of an entrepreneur is finding solutions, not discussing solutions. So we don't see obstacles, but opportunities. And there are many megatrends ahead. First is digitalization. I mean, big tech is forcing banks to invest in their customer experience, and they ask widgets from our team. And then there's this personalization. When we started, I remember our supervisory board, he said, content is king. Yeah, content, you need to have more content. Yeah, and now it's all about context. So it's you need to have the background information, the filtering, the alerting, and all this complexity, which requires functionality. And this is where we come from. So this is favoring us. Artificial intelligence. I would say that we are ahead of the curve. Thanks to Stefan, Andy, we have implemented a dozen showcases or a dozen functionality where we started with OpenAI 6 months before it was public in November 22. So I would say we are ahead of the curve. And then stock-based pension plans, potentially quadrupling the number of shareholders. But as you know, Christian Lindner screwed it up. He screwed it up almost on the home stretch. Yeah. So we have been waiting for the Aktienrente for 40 years, and now he left. Yeah. But we still wait for the next approach. And of course, India and Canada. I mean, India is said to be the most important economy by 2060. There's a Goldman Sachs research. Canada is not only Winter Olympics, they are number one. Canada is great, and yeah, this is good for our company. And Warren Buffett once said that there's this ABC of why companies die. A stands for arrogance. I wouldn't say we're arrogant. I mean, we are the normal ones, not the special ones. Yeah? Bureaucracy, we are a lean company, as I said, and complacency. I would see complacency as a major risk. We have 90% of our revenues are recurring, and we need to fight. We need to actively fight complacency. And Jeff Bezos said, on day one, companies are bursting with ideas and energy. Always maintain a startup spirit. And so we need to keep day one. And this brings me to the next project, and we're just entering the next phase. Yesterday, we launched our own broker, online broker, My Markets. And so it's a next-gen broker. I scribbled this slide in Nico's office. Sorry, it's not that nice, but the idea is that we're the next-gen neo broker. So we're not only cheap, but we're also awesome. Yeah, geil. So because we have all the information that actually you need. You can save €1 in the transaction, but you can lose 500 buying the wrong stock. Yeah? How stupid. Yeah? And we have all the filtering, alerting, screening, all the cool stuff. And so this is something that makes me very positive. And we've built the number one in Canada with TD. We have built the number one in Norway with DNB. And for 2 years, thanks to Florian, we've been working with Fidelity, the number one in America. So I'm self-confident that we have something to offer for Germany. And of course, we want to build Germany's number one. Yeah. And if we don't have the best broker tomorrow, we just keep on building. I mean, we're close to 150 people. We'll keep on building. And so I'm very confident that this will succeed. Yeah? And my supervisory board, Eric, he puts it, he nails it to the point. He said, you do not have a development risk. It's there. You do not have an operational risk. You operate systems for tier one banks. You don't have a financial risk. You finance this through your cash flow. You only have a marketing risk. And marketing, I must say, well, this is true. We do not have a brand. I mean, my markets is okay. It's not, it's not known. But we had a discussion in the management team about this, and I said, well, it's like Birkenstock, all these sandals, old-fashioned sandals, old, nurse in the hospital, nursery sandal. Yeah? And then Louis Vuitton bought this company and made it a catwalk fashion, because they put their label on Birkenstock. And My Markets is just is the best of all approach. It's a combination of LSEG, potentially 170 markets. It's Reuters News. It's TradingView, the number one trading platform. It's Bada Trading. It's best of all. And so I'm self-confident, and I hope that others will see. And this is the website. The slogan is enjoy investing. There's fun, having more performance, having cooler tools, outperforming, outsmarting the market. And there we go. We started the family phase yesterday. And I think the friends phase will start in January. So we will invite you, Mario. Yeah, he will show that. And unfortunately, Uto Bada is not here, but you please tell him that I want to conclude with his words. Whenever I share visions and ideas with Uto Bada, our last lunch meeting turned into a 4 hours conversation. Because we were asked to leave the cafe because they closed it. Because if you talk to Uto Bada or if you listen to Uto Bada, it's like time is flying. And every time we end the conversation, he gives me a handshake and he says, "Packen wir's." So let's go. Thank you very much.